is Adeusi Klimiradi, and I am one of the interns at Oasis Infobyte. I'm currently interning as a Python programmer or Python developer, and one of my tasks is to create a random password generator, more like creating a password manager to generate random password with the user stating the minimum length and also being able to set the kind of passwords they want, whether they want it to contain special characters or they want it to contain numbers. So this is my code right here, and welcome to my demo video. So I imported 3 modules: the random module, which is for generating random characters, and then the string module, which would help me to be able to access different character sets like digits, numbers, letters, white spaces, and so other type of string. And then this sys module, which is short for system module, it will help me to be able to use the sys.exit function, which will help the users to be able to exit the program. So this is the first function that I defined: generate password, where my parameters were the minimum length. That is, we're going to ask the users about the minimum length that they want, and then the numbers and special characters, because this is what the task stated that I do, that the users will be able to dictate whatever they want in their password. And this is it right here with the variables that we created using the string.ascii letters. It contains all lower cases and upper cases letters, and then using string.digit, which contains 0 to 9 digit characters in form of string and not actual numerical value. And then we have this variable here that I called special task, using the string.punctuation, and I believe this one is actually understandable. And then here I created the characters variable, which contains the strings from the letters variable. So if you see here, the letters variable was earlier created here, which contains all the strings from ASCII letters. So I assigned the strings from letters variable into the characters variable. And in this place, we are going to be able to use all the character sets that letters contain. The reason why I said all the character sets is because we've concatenated digits with characters. That is, whatever value digit has, whatever value special charge as, it's going to automatically be assigned to characters. So we can get all of our letters, all of our strings from characters variable. And then we set the password as default, and then we set all of the criteria, meet criteria as false, as number as false, as special characters as false. So then I created this while loop, which means that if we do not meet the criteria, or the length of the password is lesser than the minimum length, then we're going to have a new character which is randomly going to generate the password, or randomly going to generate characters from this place right here. So that's what it's going to do there. And then our password is going to be the new character that we generated randomly from the random module. So yeah, if the new character is in digits, that is, it has number, then it's automatically set to true. If it has special characters, it's also set to true. And also, if it meets the criteria, it's also set to true. The password that is generated, whenever it includes numbers, that means it meets the criteria as number. That means it's set to true. However, if it doesn't have number and then it has special character, right here under the if statement for special characters, I made use of the AND operator, which is the kind of operator that whenever it's the two expressions before and after has to be met for it to return true. So if one of the expression is true, then it's going to return false. So both of them has to be true. So that means the meeting criteria means that it has to have a number and it has to have special character. If our random password doesn't have number or doesn't have special character, it's going to give us false. But if it has a number and doesn't have special character, it's also going to return false. The only time it's going to return true is when it has number and it has special characters. And going back to the while loop, if it meets the criteria and it meets the minimum length, then it's just going to automatically return the password. That's the generated password, right? And then I created another while loop, which is for error handling. It means that, this is where we ask the user the minimum length. So right here, the user is going to impute the minimum length that they want. And then to enhance user experience, I added for them to type exit to be able to exit the program if they don't want to continue, right? So the minimum length, that is, if the person included a minimum length, whatever value the person is going to impute, I used this lower function right here, which is automatically going to convert their value into lowercase. And then this is what we expect them to use. So this double equal to sign means equal to in programming, in Python programming. So if the minimum length, that is whatever value they impute, if it's the same as exit, we are going to print thank you for stopping by exiting the program. And then this is the function right here, which I told you was the reason why I imported this module in the first place. However, if the person did not choose to exit the program, that is, they did not fulfill this if statement, we're going to use the except block right here, which is minimum length, whatever value the person imputed for minimum length, whatever value is going to be converted automatically as an integer, so that it's not going to crash out our program. That is why we use the integer right here. The minimum length is greater than 0, we are automatically going to break this loop right here, and we are just going to print out whatever they want and take them to the next step. However, if the minimum length is not greater than 0, we're going to print out this statement which says minimum length must be greater than 0. So this is the error handling part. And if they impute a wrong number, like they impute a word instead of imputing a number, or they misspelled the exit command, we're going to give them this statement right here: invalid input, please enter a number for minimum length or correct your spelling of exit. So they already know that these are the kind of issues that they can have, and they can be able to check, enhancing user experience. So after they've passed the stage of imputing their minimum length, then the next stage is to impute a number. So we ask them, do you want your password to have numbers, Y or N? So Y means yes, N means no. And automatically we also use the lower function here, which is that whatever value they are going to impute, our system is going to automatically convert it into lowercase. So whether they impute capital letter Y is still going to work because we've made use of the lower function right here. So also the same thing goes for special chars. You can either choose to have special characters in your password or choose to have number in your password. And this is where we call the function using their values, whatever the user provided as the value. So after they've passed all of these stages, we'll be able to generate our password using all of these parameters. So now let's run our program and see if it really works. So I'm going to cd into this particular folder, and in this particular folder is my password generator file. So I'm going to say Python, then I'll run the file. So you can see the first statement says enter the minimum length or type exit to quit. So if I type exit to quit, it says thank you for stopping by exiting the program. So I'm going to run this again, and then let me do the error handling part. So let's say I misspelled exit. Probably I was typing and somebody mistakenly shook my hands and I typed 2T and I enter. It's going to tell me that this is an invalid out input, so please enter a number for minimum length or correct the spelling of your exit. So when I check my input, I'll see that I inputted 2 T's, which means that that's where the error is coming from. And then I go back to input the correct exit and it automatically allows me to exit. But if I do not want to exit, probably that was a mistake and I want to impute a minimum length, this is what I'm going to do. So to make this, I like clearing my terminal for me to be able to have a clean slate. So right now we're going to run this file again, and it says enter the minimum length, right? So let's enter 5 as the minimum length. It says, do you want to have numbers? I say yes, I want to have numbers. Do you want to have special characters? I say yes, I want to have. And then it says the generated password is this. So you can see that it contains special characters, it contains the number O, and then it contains letter. So let me run this again. and then I say I want it as my minimum length of password. Let's say this time I don't want numbers. No, I want numbers, but I do not want special characters. It gives me there's number 7 in my password, right? But there are no special characters. These are just letters and number. So I'm gonna run this again and put same minimum length as 8. Do you want to have numbers? I say no. Do you want to have special characters? I say yes. So this time around, I'm typing a capital letter Y to see if the program is still going to run. And yeah, it did run, because remember that we use the lower function in our code to automatically convert the user input into lowercase. So right here, it did not give me any number, if you can see the password right here. Right, so now let's run this program again, and let's try to type enter minimum length. Let's try to type letters. So instead of putting 5, I'm putting in letter 5, and I'm putting it in cap locks, right? So this is what it's going to tell me. It's going to tell me invalid input. Please enter a number. That is, you need to enter a number for it to consider it as a minimum length. So right here, I did not have a misspelling. I do not have the wrong spelling of exit, but I spelled out the number 5 instead of writing out the number itself. So I correct myself to put in 5, and I say, do you want to have numbers? I say yes. Do you want to have special characters? I say no, and then it just generates this password. The last part of the code that we're going to be testing out is the error handling again, where we said that if the minimum length is greater than 0, it's going to break, and if it's not, it's going to print out minimum length must be greater than 0. So we come here to run the program again. You can see that from the previous codes that we've been in, like this one that imputed 5, of course the number is greater than 0, so it automatically broke the loop and it continued giving us where we need to impute our values. So we're going to impute a number that is lesser than 0. So I'm going to put in -2, right? And it says minimum length must be greater than 0. And it gives me the question again, enter the minimum length. Let's say I'm stubborn, -5. It says minimum length must be greater than 0 again. Enter the minimum length or type exit quit. So since I've shown you what I want to show you, I'm just going to exit the program immediately. I really had fun working on this project, especially the error handling part. I really enjoyed using all of the loops and the blocks. It was really fun, and thank you to you for watching this to the very end. You can connect with me on GitHub. This is my link here. I look forward to connecting with you also on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. Bye, and see you in the next video.